So this time, I want to show how Bing Maps can work. Now I'm going to rush very quickly over the grabbing of the data because I did that in the other video. Let's see what I've got. I'm going to open up my Firefox and go to our good friend Google. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is, let's see, Queensland Government, open data set, exports, value. And just make sure that I got that. Okay, so now we've got, I'm going to go to the second one here because we've got business and economic data, qld.gov.au. 124 found. Overseas export of goods by port, value, gaming machine data. That would be interesting. But what I'm really looking for is this one here, overseas exports of goods by top 30 countries of destination, value, Queensland. So again, it's a CSV file, so I'm going to click on it once and I'm going to open up the CSV and I'll download it. It's all of 1.5K. This is not a big data set. Open it up. It's gone away. I'm launching Excel. Here I am in Excel. Now to clean up this data set, right? This is a very small data set. The first thing I know though is that I'm not going to want to graph or visualize this total figure down the bottom. Okay, so that $43.2 billion is the total, and I'm not going to want that in my data, so I'm going to clean that out, delete it. Highlight the row, right click the row, choose delete. Up the top here, I'm going to give this a country. So what I'll do, I'll just call it country. And what I'll do here is I'll get rid of this exported, etc., 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 just to clean up the data set. Okay, so that's fine. That's a simple data set. I'll just kill, in fact, I'll kill this row here as well because we know what others are going to be doing. Okay. So 32 rows in my spreadsheet. I can tell that right there. And I know that I've got a heading up the top. So I'm going to bold and underline my heading. So just BU. Delete that second row there because it's empty. That's it. I've cleaned my data set. I'm going to give it another name down here on my sheet. So just go down the bottom there, double click. Goods exported, Queensland, destination. Okay, now remember this is saved currently in a CSV format, so I'm going to File, Save, and I'm going to put it to my desktop. You put it to where you want to put it. Okay, change from CSV up to Excel Workbook, so the very top option. CSV, comma delimited file, as we went through before. Excel Workbook, native to Excel. We discovered that Excel and PowerView and Bing don't like it if you're in a CSV file. So you've got to save it as an Excel file. Let's give it a better name than that. Goods exported Queensland and save. So there we go. I'll highlight the column, so just highlight the A, the B, the C. I just want to make it a bit neater. So I'm going to double click that first column to make it auto fit country. Double click the second column, it's already fine, and C is probably already fine as well. That's as clean as I'm going to get it. Let's take a look at my Bing. Now, I'm talking here about a map, just to be very clear. I'm going to insert up the top here, and I've got my Bing map people graph right here. This is what I did before. Before I launch my Bing map, I'm going to select my data set. So highlight the current top 3 cells. Once I've got them highlighted, I can do Control, Shift, down arrow. Takes me to the bottom of the jar, row 31. Italy with $149 million worth of exports. Fair enough. Now that I've selected my data, I should be able to click on Bing Maps. And Bing Maps is going to pick up the fact that I've got that data, I'm hoping. or not? Nope, no it's not. So I'm going to go up here to the little filter, up here, little funnel. Oh, here we go. Now what I'm seeing is a pie chart. So it took a little while to pick that up. Millions and percentages. Okay, so I've got that second column, that percentage figure, which is the 25% of the total. I don't really need that. You can see what it's done to my pie charts. It's got this little tiny sliver. If we go here to Russia. Used to work for a client who exported stuff to Russia. Kangaroo skins, would you believe? Here we go. Come on, where are you? There we are. Little teensy weensy sliver. That's because Russia in our figures over here is Russian Federation 0.8 and 338 million, including my kangaroo skins. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go to my settings. First thing I want is a pie chart. So let's get to the pie chart and make it circles. That's fine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I could get rid of my legend, I could add my legend back. I want to make it a bird's eye, which a bird's eye is going to give it a lovely geographical feel to it. Get rid of those settings. Now what's going on here? Here's Japan. Okay, and Japan is 8.5 billion, and I'd wonder about that North Korea Republic of, so that should be a little bit further south than North Korea. We don't really export 4.6 billion to North Korea. So those are things that you have to clean up in your data set. So I could probably go over to here, type in South Korea, and Bing should clean that up. You go away. And it's put in South Korea. So I'd take a look down that and just see if there's anything that looks slightly dodgy. So Hong Kong, we should know that Hong Kong is right about there. Found Hong Kong just fine. Belgium, no one can ever find Belgium on a map. So this is what I would do to clean up my data, is I'd have a bit of a look just to see that here is Belgium. There's a little spot right there. Just putting that on someplace I can't pronounce, but it certainly looks like Belgium made it. Okay, if I go back out a little bit, I can get a better picture. Okay, now my data set, I mucked up. I really shouldn't have included that second column. So what I'm going to do is just scroll up a little bit. So I've gone over to the right, scrolled up a little bit, gone into my filter here. I can't do anything about that. So let's go to my sample data here again. Invalid data is empty. I am going to, this time, just pick up the dollar value. You know what, it might be easier to just start again and delete, so highlight it and highlight Bing, delete Bing, select the columns I want this time, country, shift right click, control shift right down arrow, picks up all the ones I do want to graph this time, not my 25%. If I wanted to show it relative to profit, I might have another column, but in my case I just want a circle. Bing Maps again. Now if I just let it sit, I close that little window there, it should recognize where my data is coming from. Okay, there we go. So as soon as I've clicked on the little funnel input, it's brought it in. Now remember we had a problem with South Korea. Because I fixed up my data, South Korea is now correct. Also, I'm not getting that funny vertical line because I don't have the slim little percentage there. That's a good thing as well. Click on my little gear wheel. Guess what? Bird's eye will give me colourful map. And I'm already on pie chart. I'm on circles, not pie charts. I'll keep my legend. That's all I can really do with the big maps. I mean, I could just pick up the whole world, which is what that would do if I just circle out a little bit. Close that little window. So if I wanted to, I could just bring those around a little bit. So put America there, scroll down a little bit, zoom in by a factor of 1. A little more. Okay, thanks for that. We're picking up Alaska twice, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do with my visualization now is I'm just going to screen capture that. Okay, all I want to do is put this into my darn report. Now I can do that by Control Print Screen. I'm using my laptop, so I need to do a funny little keyboard, but Control Print Screen will capture what I'm looking at on the screen. Let's minimize Excel. Okay, what I'm going to do is open up Paintbrush. So if I just click my Start button, Paint, there's my paint, good old P-brush, been there since forever, since at least Windows 3.1 or 3.0 if I recall. Now that's a picture of my screen. Now it's got everything I don't want. I don't want to see China, Japan, South Korea over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop that. So I go up to the top here in Paint, P-brush, Paint comes free with Windows. I'm going to crop. So click on Crop. Now my cursor has changed to little crosshairs, and I'm just going to go to the points that are relevant. So I'm just going to pick up there above Alaska, pick up Antarctica. I don't need the Microsoft Corporation stuff, and we'll go with the old international dateline past Siberia. So if I let it go there, click on Crop again, that's my picture. Now to get this into a Word document, this may be a step you're not aware of. I can just go up the top here, click on little disk, so save, so Control S. I'll save this to my desktop once again, give it a name, exports around the world. Okay, now I'm going to save it as a PNG because I'm philosophically opposed to JPEG, but you could save it as a JPEG. Why do I have philosophy on like that? Because I'm a nerd. Save, close down my P-brush. Now, Windows Desktop. I can open up my Word document now, and you will have a report with its introduction and purpose and organizational context and all the rest of it, but you'll have a section called Data Visualizations. Insert, Pictures, Browse. I saved mine on my desktop because that was lazy of me. Exports around the world, Insert. Voilà, les data visualisation avec the Microsoft. So all of that created using the Bing tools. I'd want to do some checking with all that data, but it's a reasonable data visualization. That's the first step. And let's stop that video there.